Hi, and welcome back to Living Inspired with Autism, the podcast for parents of autistic kiddos who want to take back control of their lives and who also want to focus on their goals as well as taking an amazing care of themselves and to deepen their relationship with their autistic children through unique communication. I'm your host, Antoinette. I'm a life coach for parents of autism. I'm mom to my own autistic son, Max. And I'm also dedicated to helping all parents achieve a sense of calm, control, and possibility for the future. Today's episode is about something that sounds gentle, but actually requires a huge amount of strength. And that is acceptance. It is what it is, acceptance. But the real kind, the kind that takes effort, presence, and courage. Now, I'll be honest, when I first thought about acceptance, I always saw it as giving up effort. Acceptance felt like surrender, like letting go of the fight, and maybe even giving up hope. But over the years, especially parenting autism, I've learned that true acceptance is the opposite of giving up. It's leaning in. It's choosing peace even when life isn't easy. And yes, it takes effort. Eckhart Tolle has this beautiful quote. He says, "Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it." I love that. Whatever the moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. I mean, that's like really powerful. And it's a big ask because depending on what the present moment looks like, can be really, really hard. So let's unpack what it means to truly accept life as is and still hold space to dream bigger. So when you think about acceptance, you might associate it with giving up the fight. I guess I have to accept it. Sounds a lot like defeat. But acceptance, real acceptance, is the most active thing you can do. Acceptance is saying, this is what's true right now, and I'm willing to meet it as it is. And when you're a parent of a child with autism, there are so many moments that invite you to practice this kind of acceptance. A therapy that was cancelled the last minute, a meltdown at school pickup, or a holiday plan that completely unravels. These are moments where resistance feels easier. Why can't things just go smoothly? But acceptance brings peace. Acceptance doesn't mean that you like the situation. It just means that you stop arguing with reality. You stop adding the layer of this shouldn't be happening. Because think about it, how much of our suffering comes from what happens? Because think about it, how much of our suffering comes not from what happens, but from the thought it shouldn't have happened. When I can drop that thought and breathe into what is, I find my power again. And that is not resignation, it's reclaiming. It's reclaiming your power. So let's do a quick exercise. Think of one thing right now that feels hard to accept. Maybe it is the diagnosis. Maybe it is your partner who doesn't understand. Maybe it's your own exhaustion. Maybe it's your body not doing what you wanted to do. Now quietly tell yourself, I consent. That's all. Just, I consent. I consent to what is. Just feel how different that energy is, how it feels in your body when you stop fighting it. That little phrase moves you out of resistance and back into the present moment. So let's stretch that quote a little further. Tony says, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. But what if we applied that to the past? Whatever your past contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Whoa. That takes effort, because most of us have chapters we wish had gone differently. I mean, for me, there were lots of times where I did things that did not align with my values. I was very silly. I gave up on myself numerous times. I allowed people to take advantage. I didn't do what I wanted to do. And there were moments early with Max when I was so exhausted and scared that I said things I wish I didn't. And there were doctor's words that I replayed 1,000 times. And there were tears in the bathroom where I felt like I failed him and myself. And for a long time, I argued with that past. I thought if I just known then what I know now. But arguing with the past doesn't change a thing. Acceptance does something better. It frees you from it. Acceptance says, I consent to what happened. I don't condone it. I don't love it. But I accept that it was mine to walk through. Now, that kind of consent gives you back your emotional energy. It's how we stop dragging our old pain along into our new moments. So ask yourself, where am I still arguing with my past? And then gently see if you can say, I consent, I accept. I consent to the lessons that I learned the hard way. I consent to the timing I didn't understand. I consent to the version of me who was doing his or her best with what he or she knew. That's where the healing begins. So here's a fun challenge. Can you accept other adults and their behavior? Always? Now that sounds pretty impossible, right? Because part of us wants to say, no way, I don't consent to that. But the truth, your non-acceptance doesn't change their behavior. You could spend all day wishing that your partner or your spouse would react differently, or your boss would be more understanding, or your kiddo's teacher would finally get it. But how's that working? Acceptance isn't approval, it's peace. When you accept other adults as they are, you stop wasting energy trying to control what's not yours to control. And that was a big one for me, because there was a time where someone I worked with, very well-intentioned, mind you, kept telling me how I should handle Max and the things that he did. Every time I'd walk away fuming, until one day I caught myself like mid-rant to myself, and I thought, what if I just accept that he's allowed to think that? He can think whatever the hell he likes. It didn't mean I agreed. It just meant that I stopped giving his comment authority over my peace. Acceptance of others creates freedom. They get to be who they are, and you get to be free of the frustration that comes from arguing with reality. Now, let's bring it to the present moment, the here and now. Acceptance of the present is where the real peace lives. It may sound like I consent to my kiddo having a hard morning. I consent to my husband being funny or late or whatever. I consent to feeling tired today. And this doesn't mean you don't want change, but it means you stop fighting what's already here. And from that calm place, you can now decide what's next. Think of acceptance as taking your hands off the steering wheel of the things that you can't control So you can finally grab hold of what you can. When we resist what is, we lose our creative energy. When we accept it, we get that energy back. And that's the sweet paradox of acceptance. It's what gives you the power to create change. There was a day not long ago when everything just went sideways. Max refused to do anything we asked of him. A potential client ghosted me. So fun that. Dinner plans fell apart, and I just felt that familiar rush of, nothing is working out. Then I remembered this practice and literally said out loud, I consent. I accept that this day, this crappy day, as if I had chosen it. And something just shifted. Not because the day became less crappy or easier, but because I did. My nervous system calmed down and my mind softened. Acceptance made room for grace. This might be the hardest one. Can you accept yourself exactly as you are right now? The body you live in, the emotions you're feeling, the way you handle stress, your mistakes, your wins, and your weariness. As parents, especially autism parents, we hold ourselves to impossible standards. We think acceptance will make us lazy or complacent, but acceptance is not the enemy of growth, it's the foundation for it. So what if you could look at yourself in the mirror right now and say, I consent to this version of me right now. She or he is learning. She or he is worthy. She or he is enough. You don't have to love every detail to honor the whole picture. And when you accept yourself with compassion, you model that same grace for your child. I just wanted to take a break here and invite you to come and work with me one-on-one. Yeah. So if you're committed to changing your life, it may be one area or it may be several. I can help you to do that. Could you just imagine your very own coach, me, guiding you every step of the way, showing you what's next, and being so calm and clear about where you're headed that this process is actually easy? Can you just imagine that for a minute? Inside my year-long one-on-one VIP coaching experience, we will meet weekly so you can get massive results quickly and easily. You are going to learn a bunch of stuff, but you're going to also learn to manage your thoughts, reclaim your energy, and build a vision for your family and for yourself that feels unbelievable, but yet really amazing. You don't have to do this alone. So the next step is just to book a free consultation through the link in the show notes, and we will go from there because I would really love to meet you. But if you're like, Antoinette, I don't even have to think about this. I am in. What you need to do then is just email me on my email address. I answer personally, Antoinette@lliautism.net, and let's go. Here's where acceptance becomes truly powerful, when we use it to dream bigger. Because if you can learn to accept your past and consent to your present, you build the emotional muscle to accept your future before it even arrives. Think about that. If you can accept the possibility that good things are coming, you stop sabotaging them before they start. When I work with clients, I often talk about the capacity to have, the ability to hold joy and success and peace and love without rejecting them. And acceptance is the key. Can you accept that you could create a calmer home life? Can you accept that you could have a ton of energy? Can you accept that your family could thrive even with autism as part of your story? Can you accept that there is a place in your life for your goals? For many, that kind of acceptance feels scarier than the hard stuff because it requires faith, it requires belief, and it requires effort. But when you practice acceptance in small moments, you're strengthening your ability to believe in the bigger ones. So take a quiet breath just for a moment and imagine something that you deeply, deeply want. Maybe it's just peace in the mornings. Maybe it's financial stability. Maybe it is your kiddo making a friend. Now say to yourself, I consent to this possibility. I accept it as if I had chosen it. That's how you plant seeds for your future. Not from forcing, but allowing. Acceptance isn't something you do once. It's a daily choice, because each morning, try and whisper a simple mantra. For example, whatever this day contains, I accept it as if I've chosen it. It's not about giving up. It's about staying open. Some days, it looks like deep breathing in the school car park. Other days, it's letting go of guilt after snapping at someone. Or occasionally, it's just smiling through the chaos and saying, all right, life, let's go. I see you. Over time, that effort builds resilience. You begin to trust yourself, your kiddo, and your journey. Acceptance becomes less about tolerating life and more about dancing with it. Okay, so today we explored what it really means to accept life as it is and to still dream bigger. We talked about accepting your past so it no longer defines you, accepting others so that you can live with peace, accepting yourself so that you can grow with love, and accepting the possibility of a brighter, calmer, more joyful future. Acceptance takes effort, but it's the effort that sets you free, because life doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful, and your story doesn't have to be the easiest to be extraordinary. Until next time, remember, accept what is, believe in what's coming, and never stop dreaming bigger.